Copa Airlines, an operator currently of the in the spotlight Boeing 737-9, has followed the mandates to ground the type in the United States by pulling their units from service as a direct response. The carrier operates with a fleet of 21 737-9s and says it'll suspend service with these aircraft until they undergo the required technical inspections and can be officially reapproved and generally be deemed safe. Copa expects that with the necessary technical inspections and experts working closely, they can return the type to flying within the next 24 hours or so. The primary mission is to ensure the safety of those on board, with the only thing running second to this being the overall impact on customers with cancelled services. Obviously, while the airline cites a return to service within 24 hours, we do directly take a look at the Alaska Airlines situation where they said similar and have had to backtrack on that following the mandate. Airlines beginning to ground their 737 MAXs will for most provide a little bit of sense of deja vu if we date back to 2019 when in March, carriers right around the world mass grounded the type following the events of ET302. I say a little bit of sense of deja vu because the grounding part of this will certainly feel common, but not so much the overall incident that occurred to have that take place. In this sense, the grounding has primarily been spurred on, yes, by the Alaska Airlines incident I speak of, but also the most recent airworthiness directive issued against the 737 MAX by the Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA said in their emergency AD that they were issuing such a statement because they believe there to be an unsafe condition involving the aircraft, likely to exist or develop in other products of the same design, so they therefore need a thorough check to take place. Further flights of the affected planes have been prohibited, according to the FAA, until the aircraft type can be inspected and applicable corrective actions can be performed. The FAA notes that the order applies to 171 aircraft right around the world with a mid-cabin door plug installed. However, if you've been keeping track of this situation, you may know that there's 215 in-service 737-9s. Well, there used to be. Given now the groundings, that number is a little bit skewed, but what it does show us is not all delivered 737-9s have the said feature and are therefore not affected at this time. Boeing said in a statement that they are currently working with all relevant parties and supporting the ongoing investigation by the NTSB to determine what happened, how to prevent it in the future, and if it is widespread. Alaska Airlines made headlines by not just having this take place, but voluntarily grounding their 737-9s just before the emergency airworthiness directive was issued. The airline initially said it would return the plane to service following inspections, but then the carrier went on to say that following the EAD, they would be pulled again from operations until additional details could be clarified to the company. Alaska Airlines, among other impacted companies, are attempting to better understand the issue and determine, really, if further work must be required before the planes are officially cleared to fly again. All of this happens probably at the worst time for Boeing, although you could definitely make the argument that there would never be a good time for this to happen. It just felt like Boeing were slowly but surely starting to turn the corner, and while there were minor niggles across the 2023 calendar year, there was nothing so substantial such as this that made its way into the general public limelight. Really, it just stayed within our aviation niche. But this incident is making headlines right around the world, and obviously, the aircraft type associated is the 737-9, but it will largely be broadcasted as the 737 MAX. And with a lot of people not having trust in Boeing, and especially the product that they put out, and the 737 MAX, if we're being precise, well, this doesn't really bode well. We'll see what happens. Make sure you are staying tuned for more rolling coverage. I do appreciate the support. Stay safe out there, please, and especially down in the comments, as I know a lot of people will have some pretty strong opinions on what has taken place. All I ask is, do your very best to please keep it respectful. We are, at the end of the day, just one big community that loves aviation. Thanks a lot. Take care. I will see you next time.